a balanced, whole food, plant-based diet, even on a vegan diet, you can, if you eat nuts and seeds and grains in a good balanced proportion, you're already sitting up around, you can be up 45, 50 grams of protein per day. So if you're scared, oh no, I need more protein, I'm a vegan and it's it's no good, I need to eat more protein. And you start to say, oh, I'll add a couple of eggs and maybe I'll add some meat substitutes. That can easily get you already up around 85 to 95 grams of calcium, which is capable of producing osteoporosis. Even as a vegetarian, even as a vegan. So protein is great. Protein is great. But if you're eating a balanced diet and you're eating your nuts, your seeds, your legumes, you don't need to think that you need to eat more. As a matter of fact, eating more may hurt you if you do too much of it and you do it over a lifetime. One day here and there, a bit more protein in this day and less in the next, it's not going to really matter so much. But over a lifetime, and this is a conclusion that a lot of these researchers have reached, is the primary cause why we have so much osteoporosis nowadays is a lifelong consumption of a high protein acid forming diet. Now there are other factors. There's never one factor in a disease. Never. Inactive lifestyle, particularly after menopause for women, and inadequate calcium, but that's generally not a problem for us. It can be if you're eating lots of refined foods, if all your grains you're eating is white bread, white pasta, white rice, and you're not eating a lot of salad, and you go vegetarian and you cut out the animal products as well, it's quite possible not to be getting enough calcium, and that can be another cause. But if you're eating whole food, plant-based diet, say people say you need milk. Well, they find milk is about 10 to 1 magnesium to calcium ratio. 1 to 10 magnesium to calcium ratio. And the ideal magnesium calcium ratio is 1 to 2. So then you end up with a lot of problems with heart conditions when you are having that sort of imbalance, because magnesium, low levels of magnesium are directly related to heart attack and cardiovascular disease. So getting it from the seeds and nuts are very rich in calcium. Green leafy vegetables are rich in calcium. Crunchy vegetables tend to be rich in calcium. Carrots, cabbage, cauliflower, all those things tend to be rich in calcium. And they provide it in an ideal balance where you're getting about 2 to 1 calcium to magnesium. Whereas if you try and get it from milk, you're getting about 10 to 1, which is not a healthy balance for a human being. It's a real healthy balance for a baby cow. It's really good for them. So if you're suffering from osteoporosis, or you know somebody who is, first thing you should do, don't eat a high protein diet. Keep it balanced. It doesn't mean you should go on a super low protein diet either, but you should go on a reasonably low protein diet if you have osteoporosis. Even if you're a vegan, keep your portions of beans, nuts, lentils, those sort of things. Don't eat large portions of them. Keep them reasonably small, maybe half a cup. Nuts and seeds, you might eat a closed handful per day, or maybe just a little more. And stay away from things like the meat substitutes. You don't need that much, especially if you're living a reasonably inactive lifestyle. You don't need that much. Just in case some of you are saying, how can all these people be wrong? This doesn't sound right. I've always heard from Grandma, I need to eat my meat, I need to eat this. just in case you're thinking that, I want to share another little something with you here. Dr. Michael Colgan was the former nutritional advisor and nutritionist for Sylvester Stallone. And I just need to change something on my view here. Okay, sorry, just a couple of technical issues here. Okay, he was Sylvester Stallone's former nutritionist and advisor to many US Olympic athletes. And he said this: with hard training, the maximum amount of extra muscle you could build in a year would be less than 3.6 kilos. That accounts for 70 grams per week, 9.5 grams per day. And since muscle is only 22% protein, because it's got a lot of water in it, that would then account to 2.8 grams a day is what's required to bring about the greatest possible muscle gain in an athlete. 2.8 grams per day. You might not believe this, but that's two bananas will give you more than that. So it's a little different to common thinking, but it's the facts. When you look at the cold hard facts in the face, when you look across cultures, different cultures, and you make your obvious observations, this is what you learn. Now, the second thing you should do if you have osteoporosis is start doing, and particularly if you're a woman past the age of menopause, is start doing some weight-bearing exercise. Because when the little sensors in your bones detect stress, they say to your brain, hey, this needs to be a bit stronger. A bodybuilder will actually, their bones grow bigger and stronger because, if you took someone's arm who wasn't a bodybuilder and you lifted the amount they lift, your arm would probably break. Your bones actually grow. And now, the other thing you can take into consideration, if you're not willing to go down the path of herbal and nutritional diet, lifestyle change and change everything and become really, really healthy, which is what you should do because that's got so many side benefits it's not funny. But if you're not willing to make a whole lot of change and you're considering any sort of hormonal therapy for it, bear this in mind. Estrogen supplementation creates a slight rise in bone density. However, progesterone supplementation creates a large rise in bone density. They're actually finding it's not so much the fact that the estrogen levels are low in women that's causing the osteoporosis, as the fact that the balance between the estrogen and progesterone, there's way more estrogen and only a tiny bit of progesterone. That's what they're finding. And they find that if you want to go down the not so natural path, look into natural progesterone supplementation because it can be very effective in counteracting osteoporosis. And our time is gone. I was hoping to, it's more than gone actually, I was hoping to leave a little bit of time so people could ask some questions. I think we can probably have a couple of really brief ones, but we won't have much. I should be around still after, so you can talk to me then. But if anyone's got a really quick question to ask, maybe one or two, and then we'll call it a night with the talk. Any questions? Or did I answer them all already? No? That makes it easy. So I know what it is. You're all so eager and you're getting hungry and you want to see these recipes, isn't it? Okay, so I will hand it back over to Joe and the ladies, and they will show you what they have for you tonight.
Thank you, Amos. If you'd like to let the ladies know that we are ready, you can hook them up. Well, that means I'm safe. He said over 50, but since I'm over 60, I have no problems. Is that correct? I wish. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Now, if you have any questions, you can talk to Amos later on. Well, talking about proteins, well, I think that our first demonstration will be almonds. You know, it's amazing little nut, and you can do so much with it. And it's very, very healthy. So let me call Lydia, our team, and we'll see what she can do with almonds. Okay, you nearly ready? The newcomers, who's here for the first time? Number of you. Okay, so if you weren't here in the beginning, I saw some of you coming late. I'll just repeat myself again. Sponsored by Elam Health Center. That's a community service, free of charge. We have a little box there for donations. If you are happy to give something, we are quite happy to accept. Downstairs, we have a little health food store run by Eline. Is Eline here? I saw her walking past. There she is in the back. So she will go after the demonstration. She'll go downstairs, and you can go and have a look what's in the shop there. Books around the corner. You're very welcome to take some of the pamphlets. Some bigger books you can purchase. Also, the facilities around the corner. So you're quite... Lydia, this is Lydia, everybody. You're not switched on? We have a problem. Yeah, I can handle her. She's my wife, okay?
Can you, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back, some of you, and some new faces. It's lovely to see you. And I hope you're going to enjoy our program tonight. We're going to start off with some protein food. Now, many people these days have an allergy to soy as well as a few of the other things. So we're going to demonstrate to you tonight how to make an alternative milk. So we're going to do an almond milk for you. And it's very simple and very easy to do. I will just bring this over here. We're just going to use filtered water or bought water, bottled water, whatever you would like. And we're going to put, when you're soaking almonds, I'm going to use soaked almonds tonight. When you soak almonds, you can soak them 2 days in advance, but each day make sure you rinse them and put some more filtered water in it on top. Don't leave it there for 2 days because it'll go gooey and it's not so nice and it'll taste a bit sour. So I'm just going to, I've soaked this since last night and I rinsed it out there before we started and put fresh water, but even then you'll see that the water's still a little bit murky, but it's just the way it is. It's because of the skin. Now you can blanch them, take the skin off, but the skin's got a lot of roughage and it's really good for you, and it's a complete protein food. So I don't take the skin off the almonds to make the milk, and it will still look like that. It'll still look like as white as it can be. So all I do, to get 1 cup of the almond soaked, you put 3/4 of a cup of dried almonds, and it'll give you 1 cup. Okay? So it's if you put 1 or 2 extras, it's not going to make a big difference. So we just add that to the blender and 4 cups of water. So just 4 cups of water and a little pinch of salt, just for a balance. And you whisk that up together until it's nice and creamy and white, and you'll be able to taste it It goes a long way. This is only a quarter cup, 3/4 of a cup of dry almonds, so it does go a long way. And a little pinch of salt, and you whiz that up. Once it's done, what I do is I just add a little bit of maple syrup, just a 1/2 teaspoon. It's not much, but it just gives that nice balance. It just gives it a little bit sweeter. Because milk's got lactose and it's sweet, so to make it, sort of a bit more flavoursome, you can put, but if you don't want to use maple syrup, put a date. Okay, so we'll just blend that up. Sorry about the noise. That'll probably do it. Now, you can use, to strain it, you can actually use a cheesecloth. You don't have to have any super duper thing, but I did find this specific stand, and I've used that today, so it's a little bit wet. It's just a stand like so, and you can put anything underneath. You can put a glass, or you can put a jug, or you can put whatever you like underneath it. I'll just move that out the way. And when I put the bag in, I don't put the stitched side inside because you get all the gritty stuff. So put the ugly side out. Normally we put the ugly side in. Put the ugly side out, and this is I just find this very handy because it just sits nicely and things don't go everywhere. But you can do the same thing. If you want to do yourself a cheesecloth, you can go to Spotlight or any of the fabric stores. Ask them, because it's behind the counter. They don't have it out in the roll like they used to. If I would use this, I would double it up. Okay? So it don't just use it once, just single ply, because it will leave a little bit more grit in it. So double it up. Do the same thing. You can just put that in the jug, make a little well in, and pour your milk through. So you don't need this super duper thing, but if you do want to buy one of these, they're available from Green Living Australia. They're the people that you can buy milk cultures, yogurt cultures and things like that. They do sell, this is called a jelly strainer, and it's $18.95 if you're interested. But let's see how we go with this milk. Just pour your milk in there. Now, we can drink the milk, but don't throw away the residue, okay? Because as you'll find out tonight, you can make lots of things with it. And we're just going to give it to you straight with a little bit of oil and a little bit of salt, just with a cracker so you can taste it. But you can add anything to it that you want. And it's very tasty. You could put garlic, you could put some chives, you could put some different flavourings and make it like a dip. You can make it thinner, or you can add more milk to it, or you can just leave it as it is. So that's, now with this almond milk, it's very nice and frothy. It's quite versatile, the milk. You can make puddings and custards with it. You can make anything you would for a normal milk. You can make milkshakes, and that's what we're going to do for you this evening. We're going to have a strawberry milkshake. And it's just amazing what you can do with the milk. I'll just move that out the way. Oops, sorry. That's where the video is. Okay. Move the machine. Can you see this, Larry? And I just give it a little twist to help it along a little. And it just helps that lovely milk to come out. And I use the filling for stuffing tomatoes, a whole lot of different things you can do with it. And it's very nice because it's got all the roughage that you need. So you're not losing anything from the nut. You're drinking the water, the milk, and you're also using what you call it, the cheese part, okay? Now, if I was to use it for a spread, I wouldn't twist it anymore. I would just leave it a little bit wet, depending what you're going to use it for. And you just means that you'll get a little bit less. That's okay, I'll put it on this plate, it's alright. Here's your little cheese. It's like ricotta cheese, except it's almonds, okay? So that's your almond cheese and your almond milk. Now we're going to use the almond milk to do a strawberry milkshake. Now I'm going to just use what I've just made. And to that, I put a punnet of strawberries. Now, I'm not advertising the Vitamix, but it is a wonderful blender to have. I have washed these prior to coming in here, so I don't need to wash it again. But I'm not going to chop the ends off, because that's the green, and that's good for you. So we just pop it all in. Okay. And I'm going to add a half a cup of cashew nuts to make it a little bit thicker consistency. And for sweetening, I'm going to add a quarter of the maple syrup. So a quarter cup of maple syrup. And if you have children, especially, this is very, very good for them, because almonds are very good for you. And they won't know what's in here. They will love it, and they'll want some more. So it's a very lovely, rich beverage that they can have, and they will enjoy it. It's not something that they'll say, oh, do I have to drink that? They'll say, could I have some more? Okay? And I'm going to put a half a stem of vanilla bean, just slightly chopped in there, and then I'll whiz all this up. So just excuse us for the noise again. You don't want it hot. Oh, wait. Sometimes the friction makes it hot, so just put a cup of ice in it, and that will just keep it nice and cool. And here's your lovely strawberry milkshake, which is full of vitamins and minerals, and it's just delicious, as you're about to try.
They served the plain one first?
That's okay. Very good. Yes. And if you like to try it, and then you try it and you don't think it's sweet enough, just add some more sweetening. You can, like I said, you can put a banana in there. You could put dates, and just whatever your imagination takes. All right. I'm just going to try this, if that's all right. I like it like this because I don't like it very sweet, but you may want it a bit sweeter. But you'll taste. This is the plain milk that you'll receive. Yes, in the fridge. Yes, one of them. Now, what I'm going to tell you too, if you don't have strawberries at home, you don't need the fresh strawberries, just buy the frozen strawberries and put like a nice heaped cupful. So I'm just going to make some more with some frozen strawberries, and you will taste that too. So I'll just get the strawberries, if you just don't mind me just going to get it, it won't be long. Can I have the strawberries? Oh, there's a bag of strawberries. Any questions? No? Would you like another one? Tanya? Have we got plenty? Who would like seconds? Put your hand up. Yes. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No. I keep it in the fridge. Yes, I guess so. I did.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's ready to go. Yep. I'll wait to see maybe. Now, because you've got that skin on the almond, when you actually soak it, throw that water out and give it a rinse, okay? It's amazing that the milk is still white even though you have the skin on it. You would expect it to be brown, wouldn't you? So, yeah. Is it hard to pour it out? Should we pour it out in there? Vivian, they're coming around. Vivian, they're coming around with...
Too light.
That's okay. We'll give you clean ones. No problem. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe you could give Amy a hand with the jug or something. Any other questions? If you find that the milk is too watery, you can just put 3 cups of water instead of 4. Okay? So just experiment. It's not going to hurt. Yes? Tap water's got chlorine and some dirt sometimes and things like that. But filtered water is the best. But because I didn't have enough filtered water here today, I have a filter at home. But for today, I just bought the bottled water. Yeah. It's only for the purity of the water. So, yeah, if you feel comfortable using tap water, use tap water. But it's just sometimes it's got residue, it's got dirt and things like that. Not very nice. Yes. Boiled water, you can use boiled water, yes. Boil it and cool it. Beg your pardon? When you're boiling the water, it needs to boil, actually boil. Yeah. Oh, the milk, you can boil it, you can, but there's no need for it because if you make it fresh, you just make it and use it. You don't store it for a week or anything, just make it. When you do store it, it does separate slightly, so you just got to mix it, shake it. Yeah. About 2 or 3, maybe. I mean, sometimes if you want to stretch it, but I wouldn't. I would just make it fresh. It doesn't. Rather keep the almonds in the water in the fridge rather than the milk, and then just keep it a couple of days. I wouldn't keep it any longer. Okay? Yeah. If you would anyone like some more milk or some more? Well, some of they're still going out with the strawberry. Do we have plenty, Amy, or will I make up another batch? Okay. Now, you will receive a little cracker with some of this on it, and all we did is put some salt, Himalayan salt, and some olive oil. It's just simple. And it's just nice if you want to spread it on a cracker, or if you're making sandwiches and you don't want to use margarine or butter, spread this on it first and then put your filling on it.
And guess what we sell downstairs in the shop? Almonds. Fresh almonds. Now,
did you write down if anybody's interested in this gadget, the jelly strainer? It's called Living Australia, and you can find it, if you Google it, you'll find their website, and it's called Jelly Strainer. And if you want to, I've got the number actually. It's Living Green Australia, beg your pardon, Living Green Australia, and it's, excuse me for a minute, the number of the jelly strainer set is number 1532. 1532, yes.
Where will I find vanilla beans?
You can find it in Coles. I just bought a packet It's just a long packet, and it was with the cake spices and things like that in Coles. I will show you what the box, it's just a tall long box. You know where they keep all the like vanilla essence and all the colours and all that sort of thing? It's there. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I think we're going to, I'll clean up while you're doing that, and we're going to have our next person will come up. Her name's Denise, and she's going to demonstrate a salad. When we did a questionnaire last time, we had some requests for salads and for raw foods. So these two things that you've just seen are raw foods. So you just use the almond cheese and that's classified as raw. Now the kale salad is also raw with the exception of the baked sweet potato and the quinoa. But I'll get Denise to come out and she will demonstrate it for you.
Now I can vouch for almond milk. For probably about 8 weeks, I was doing some experiments on my own body, some problems I had, and I couldn't use juices for my smoothies, so I had to use something else. So I used almond milk, and it was so good and so easy to make, and there was plenty of this almond butter that I used on my gluten-free biscuits or bread, because I was also on the gluten-free, so very versatile. And it's not very hard to make, as you saw. It's very easy and very quick. So good. I hope you enjoy it. Well, this is Denise, and she's going to demonstrate the next section. Thank you, Denise. Now, you might have a bit of problem with not understanding her because she's American, but we won't hold that against her. Thank you, Denise.
Good evening, everyone. How are you all tonight? Enjoying everything so far, I hope? So I will be demonstrating the kale, quinoa, and sweet potato salad, which is really quite an awesome salad because you are putting together 4 superfoods all into one. Just the richness and the goodness that you get out of this one salad is just amazing. So I start out with a good bunch of kale and I chop it up. So you can chop it however you prefer. I like to get it in just smaller pieces. The smaller you cut it, the more it's going to absorb the flavor of your dressing that you put on it. So you chop it up and put that off to the side, and then I'll show you how I make my dressing. I take about half of a lemon, I squeeze that out, and pour that in there. And then I have about half a teaspoon of sea salt. You can use sea salt, Himalayan salt, whichever you prefer, and put that in there. And then 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Oh, and you know what? I don't have a mixer. Thank you. So you'll mix that up really good. And you'll want to pour that all over that. And then mix it up really nice. Once you have it all mixed, you can set it aside and let it marinate I actually like to do this even the night before. Just cover it and put it in the refrigerator. The longer that the kale marinates in the dressing, the more tender it becomes and the more it absorbs the flavor. You can eat it right away as well. It'll still taste nice, but it does taste a lot nicer the longer you let it absorb. So I just mix that in and then we set it aside, and then you can do the rest of the preparation while that marinates. So for my quinoa, I have about a cup of uncooked quinoa here. And I don't think we have, well, we don't have a pot here or anything, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to put this into your pot and you're going to cover it with water, and you'll set it to boil with, I use either stock cubes, veggie stock cubes, or for tonight's samples that you're getting, I use our mushroom seasoning, which we sell in our health food store downstairs. It's a really lovely seasoning. I really love to use it, so that's what I use tonight. And you use just about 1 to 2 tablespoons of seasoning per cup of quinoa that you cook. It shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes to cook it. It usually cooks pretty quickly, and you'll know when it's done because there's a little white rind on the quinoa that starts to separate off of it. And that's when you know you're done. You can take it off the stove, strain it, and then set it aside to cool so that it's ready for the salad when you're ready for that. And in the meantime, you'll chop up your sweet potatoes, and you just lay it across on your baking dish. This is the mushroom seasoning. They look like little pellets. You can come up and take a look at it later on if you like. That's on. Okay. So I just distribute it out like this, nice evenly. And I use about 3 teaspoons of coconut oil. Now, I don't know how much research you've done on coconut oil, but it is an amazing, amazing oil to use in your foods. It does wonders for your skin, for your hair. It's so good for your health in so many different ways, and it has so many essential fats that are so important for our daily diet. And the nice thing about it is you can cook with it without having to worry about it changing its state under the high temperatures when you're heating it up. So that's the other really nice thing about it. So I'll just distribute about half a teaspoon in each quarter, here, like that. And then as it's baking, it just melts across the entire tray and blends into all of the sweet potatoes. And I pop it in the oven at 200 degrees, and I let it roast for about maybe 20 minutes or so. You'll feel it when it starts to get tender, or if you prefer to have it a little more well done, you can do that as well. And then once it's done, you put them all together, mix it all up together, and you can garnish it with a little bit of sesame seeds and a little bit of sunflower seeds. We roasted these in the oven, which gives it a really nice nutty flavor once you do that. And voila, there you have it. And now for the kale in itself is a superfood. It has such amazing properties in it. Anti-inflammatory, it's high in antioxidants, it's good for your cardiovascular health, it's good at helping to prevent cancer. And sweet potatoes are amazing also just in themselves, in the fact that they are very low on the glycemic index, so they're very healthy to eat, even for those who have diabetes. They are really great for your skin as well. There's just so many different wonderful properties, so many vitamins and nutrients that are so good for you in these products that once you eat them, it helps so much with so many different things. And then with the quinoa is very high in protein. So for those of you who are looking for a food, if you're trying to get off of meat or eggs and cheese and such, quinoa is a wonderful substitute for that. It works as an appetite control. So it's, again, into each one of these and just do a little bit of research and see all the wonders that it can do for you. Are there any questions? All right. Well, enjoy. You're welcome.
Thank you, Denise. Are you enjoying it? What do you reckon about this almond butter dip? It's very nice, isn't it? It's so simple. It's only got a little bit of olive oil and salt. That's it. So you can put any kind of flavoring you want inside. And it's beautiful. I love it. And it's very healthy. Good. So you're going to experiment at home? Okay? Don't just take the recipe and do nothing about it. I don't know. Let's have a look. You're on.
Thank you.
So what are we doing? Beans, are we?
We're doing beans.
Wow. Thank you, Rosemary.
Sorry, just still trying to set up. Complete meal, protein meal. Am I able to use this stove to get? How are we all tonight? It's good to see you all. To save some time tonight, I've already started the process of frying the onions. I don't know what you think, but when I fry onions, I think it's...
So we have to have, because we can't, it's blocking our view. Would you like this?
Well, really need this to be sizzling. How many people own a crock pot or a slow cooker? A couple? Yeah, there's a few. I can't live without mine. I use mine 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes more, if I need it, because I'm a working mother, and as you know, if you get one, it's brilliant. You put it on, you leave it, you come back home, and it's cooked. And yeah, I just love it. Should we pass some? Doesn't know what Bilotti beans looks like. I think it's pretty straightforward on the recipe how you should soak it. Either you can soak it overnight in cold water or 5-6 hours something in cold water. But if you need to get the process going quicker, thank you, Amy, you can soak it in boiling water from the kettle, and within 1 hour it will have soaked and doubled in size, and you just drain it, rinse it, and you're good to go with your beans into your crock pot. You can use pressure cookers, there's nothing wrong with that, or even just a normal pot on the stove, but I always find with a crock pot your beans just taste so much better because it's slowly cooked. And I also cook it on low on my slow cooker. It just holds the nutrients in so much better. And the flavour is just awesome. And all the beans were all cooked in the slow cooker tonight. I make a recipe when I'm getting the beans out. I get rid of the water, but not all of it. I save some. You want it to be a saucy texture. Otherwise you might find it a bit too dry. Brown rice and beans, a complete meal, protein meal when you have brown rice and beans. It's good to put variety of beans into your diet. Don't always stick with the same one. White beans, lima beans, cannellini beans. There's like chickpeas, so many different varieties. It's good to try to get that in, otherwise you end up getting the same thing all the time rather than a bit more of a balance. Right. Oh, that's looking... in there for me. Sauteing. How do you turn this down a bit? Okay. Sweet paprika. Pop it in. All your salt goes into the onion. When you cook your beans, whether you use a pressure cooker, especially if you use it on the stove, cook your beans without it cooks so much quicker, especially if you're using just an ordinary pot on the stove. But I never put salt in my beans. I always add. That's why it's best to keep it overnight so the flavour, the onion flavour and the salt and paprika mix into your beans. Now, I think I've turned it off. I'm not used to this one. Okay. Okay, my proportion, because I didn't finish emptying out the beans so much, I got a bit too much onion, but if you like lots of onion, there's nothing wrong with it. But the proportions are a bit out. Okay. Now we've got to make sure we give it a really good mix. And the more you mix, the saucier it becomes. But if it's still not getting saucy, then you add some more of that water that you've kept. I do need it back, yeah. It's not quite... I don't know if you can see this, but it is becoming saucier. It's becoming more, I don't know, saucier. I can't think of anything. It's binding better. We'll see. Yeah. It doesn't matter how much you put. Well, if you put too much, then it's going to be more like a soup rather than a dish on top of rice. There. That's pretty much done. And now, if you sort of do it in the morning, fry up your onions, you let it sit by evening, you can have it, or the next day. But it's best if you let it have a bit of a sit for the flavours. But that's it. And with a basic steam your brown rice with a bit of salt and water. And enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary. Very good source of protein. Can we switch you off?
You may.
Who is next? Rosetta. Oh, that looks good. That's a meal in itself. So what's Rosetta doing? Are you on? Doesn't sound like it.
Somebody else is saying what's going on.
Enjoying it? That's good. Beans and rice go really well together. It's really yum. While you're busy eating away, I'll start the next presentation. We're doing chia, date and almond balls. They've got a real nice tang to them if you like lime, and they're nice and zesty and nice and fresh. Very easy recipe. It's something that you can make ahead of time, which is really handy if you need it. Really great for snacks, for kids' lunches, to pack into their lunch boxes. Very easy to make, and they last for, well, if you're lucky they'll last, but they get eaten pretty quickly because they're really yum. But they do keep in the fridge for up to 2 weeks, so you can make them well ahead of time if you need them. All very easy to do. All you have to do is measure up your ingredients and put it in your food processor. So we start off with 200 grams of dried apricots. That just goes in our food processor. Then we have 90 grams of almond meal, which is just ground up almonds. You can buy it like this, or you can put your own almonds into a blender and you've got almond meal. So that all goes in. Yeah, that's hot, I can feel it. It's alright, it's not in my way. Fine. 35 grams of desiccated coconut, that just goes in as well. 45 grams of chia seeds. You can use the black or the white, it doesn't matter. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. The zest of 1 lime. And then the juice of the 1 lime as well. And this is what gives it a real kick. It's really yum. And then all you have to do is put it on to mix it all up and to chop up all your hard ingredients. What I like to do is I've got 500 grams, half a kilo of dried dates. I put a little bit into start, and then I start the machine and just gradually add more as it's going. So I'm going to turn this on, so it's going to make a bit of noise. You're ready. And that's all there is to it. Then it's just a matter of wetting your hands a bit. Just put a little bit of water on your hands. Grab a teaspoon. You can make these any size you like, but they're pretty packed with nutrition and taste, so you don't need them too big. I use a teaspoon. You just put a small amount in your hand, roll it up. You got a ball, and you put it in your coconut, and voila! Very quick and easy to do, and they taste really good. I'm sure you'll be getting them soon. Did you find them in the fridge? Yeah. I keep them in the fridge because They harden up a bit because the chia absorbs all the moisture that's in it, and they harden up a bit when you put them in the fridge. And so then when you serve them, they're a bit firmer. They're not so soft. Because if you leave them out, they get pretty soft and harder to handle. And that's all there is to it. Really quick and easy, and delicious and very good for you. That's it.
That was quick.
Yep. That's how I like it. Nice and quick.
Since you're eating rice and beans still, any Brazilians here? Anybody from Brazil? Well, my wife's from Brazil. Lydia is from Brazil. So when I went to visit Brazil for the first time, you know how in service stations you have your Burger Kings, you have your Maccas, you have... Well, in Brazil, every service station has rice and beans. Strange. You get up late and you help yourself, and then you pay per kilo for whatever you eat. And every single garage has rice and beans. It's staple diet of Brazilians. It's complete food, complete protein. So use it.
That's dirty.
So, do we have anything else on that list? I'm not even sure. I better find out. That's it. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed all that. We still have to try the balls, so don't go away. Okay, they're coming. Here they come. Oh, they look good. They look very healthy too. Yep. Well, we're going to call all the ladies out soon, so you can see the team. Yeah, you can take some photos. Good. And please don't hesitate to ask questions, okay? If you want to ask the ladies questions, just ask them. And don't forget, a little shop downstairs. Most of the... by the way, we have balotti beans in our shop, would you believe? Okay. It wasn't plain. It just happened that way. I didn't know what Rosemary was making. So have a stroll and stock up. Now, if you'd like to take some pamphlets on health around the corner, please do so. Now, by the way... this is a young lady here. This is not too much beans here, okay? Now this happens to be my grandson or my granddaughter. That's my daughter, by the way. Good job. Now, did you enjoy it? We'd like to see you next Monday. Okay, so make sure if you are coming and you have not registered as yet, just register your name around the corner so we know how many people are roughly coming. And I just want to let you also know, you probably realize that we also are a church. Did you realize? Well, we at school as we call service, but after our main service, guess what? The buffet. So come about 11 o'clock, listen to the good study from the Bible, and come and join us for the meal. You're very welcome. So thank you all for coming. Denise, Rosemary, we have Amy, and we have lots of girls. There's Tanya. There's also Vivian and Lana in the kitchen. There's a lot of activity going on in there. Okay, a lot of preparation, and we have also Lizzie here on the book where the table is. And please don't forget, if you feel like donating anything, please do so. Just before we go, I'd like you to bow your heads, and we'd like to offer a prayer to our Heavenly Father. Loving Heavenly Father, we are so thankful that we were able to spend this time together in using these wonderful products that you have created for us. For we know that you want us to be healthy and happy. So we thank you for this precious time that